Rarity's Carnation by Handmade.
Open wide, darling.
You never should have. The atmosphere of relaxation took a sharp turn ever since the perforated gag was set between your jaws. It was supposed to be a night of merriment, a time to celebrate Rarity's elevation and success within the cutthroat fashion industry. In no small thanks to your partnership and ingenuity. However, your hands were bound behind you, a small chain and gentle cuffs emerging from an unseen crevice within the chase lounge.
I have a surprise for us tonight.
Seeing Rarity to her chambers for a sip of tea and desserts shouldn't have been so risky. You should have adhered to your intuition. Slender candles flicked dimly in the room, giving the boutique's upper floor a subtle warmth. Your eyes traced a trail of dripping white wax as it made its way to the candelabra's base.
You look simply smashing in this light.
You attempt to mouth a courtesy, keeping a cool demeanor despite the mare's assertive behavior. The mare flashes you a gentle smile, her eyes gleaming off lenses of curved glass. Your weight shifted slightly as you sat at the edge of the lounge, your untouched cup of cinnamon tea piping patiently at your side. Rarity's hoof adjusted the corner of her eyewear.
I never thought I'd be needing glasses so soon to craft my visions. But the lenses are worth their burden on my nose to see those elegant fibers you've patterned.
Laying loosely along the fabric, the lady's hoof tip ran pleasantly along your thigh and down the length of your waistcoat.
Truly a work of art. But I shouldn't be so surprised. You've never disappointed me, love.
The last one took you off guard. Turning your neck, you remained rather upright in posture and shot your partner a curious gaze.
Darling, you're so cute when you play coy.
A quick titter escaped Rarity's lips.
Going out to the Gilded Bluebell for dinner, taking the scenic route back home past the gardens, you picking the loveliest carnation along the way to grace my mane. A true lady knows the meanings of such flowers, dear.
It was a shame that you didn't share in Rarity's mastery of bouquet symbolism. Perhaps such a faux pas wouldn't have triggered the fashionista into action. It would have been a lie to deny Rarity's radiant sensuality, but despite the occasional compliment, things have never progressed beyond anything but mere smitten marshiness. It would have served you well to read further into her alluding mannerisms.
A true gentleman. But, darling, how could you allow a lady to remain in waiting for so long? All those endless hours slaving over our machines, all those sleepless nights perfecting each ensemble, all simply a waiting game for you to cross-hatch our hearts together. You sly, terrible man. How many suns must I watch your handsome waistcoat dance before me before it hangs within my boudoir?
She reached out, leaning much closer as the smell of cinnamon and lavender floods your nostrils. The softness of her pampered hoof nudged your chin, wiggling your jaw in a shining manner.
You awful, marvelous, wonderful man. Only Celestia knows why destiny has chosen a human as my suitor. But by the goddesses do I thank the stars for you, my partner, my confidant, my love.
Before the whirlwind of emotion could even register, Rarity shoved her plush lips against yours, massaging your force around the gag. You surprised yourself, leaning your neck into the kiss reflexively and allowing her prehensile lips to roam freely. Gentle sounds escaped Rarity's throat, light and girlish rather than deep and sultry. Her desperation for the moment was belied by the pitch. Your first kiss with the lady.
Mwah.
She pulled away, savoring the thin trail of your saliva from the gag. The mare's name came out choppy, sloppy from the effects of the damnable ball against your palate. It was all so fast, so sudden.
Oh, what a kiss! How did I ever resist your temptations for so long? And to see the ways other mares gawked at you, ogled you, presented for you.
Rarity's gaze narrowed, a possessive tone seeping through her words.
And yet you held true for me, whether Canterlot, Manhattan, or Ponyville. It was more who held your heart, no?
You felt slightly uneasy, seeing genuine tears of anxiety and happiness welling up within the mare's eyes.
The build-up, the time frame, the business, the romance. This night, it was all so perfect, just so perfect.
A hot blast of air wafts around your facets, warming your mouth and gag as Rarity's instincts assert themselves.
If another were to have you, I would have simply died.
Rarity's upper body fell while magicking your cool tea out of the way. With a controlled poof, her cheek landed right atop your lap. You looked down, careful not to allow the excess saliva pooling behind the gag to drip onto the mare. You watched in disbelief as her elongated snout nuzzled your crotch. The lack of recent masturbation time thanks to your recent business excursions had left you quite pent up, and the sudden attention began to firm the region in a rather noticeable manner. Rarity's neck moved in increasingly longer strokes, chasing your rapidly expanding length down your trousers with her cheek and tongue.
Such a tease. Just what talents have you been hiding from me all of these months, love?
Her glasses fell to the floor. A magic thumb sounded through the air and tugged roughly at your belt. Her eyes widened, feeling your manhood grow further than anticipated.
Such virility. What will you make your mare endure tonight?
You blushed, embarrassed at the mental imagery. It didn't take long for Rarity to remove your pants and undergarments, allowing every inch of her prize to throb freely.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. Ooh.
She mumbled to herself, shuffling off of the lounge and onto the floor in front of you to get a better view.
How brazenly your love handle presents itself. Do you expect it all to fit in me? To claim every inch of my ladyhood with it? Oh, darling, what if it hurts?
Rarity flashes you a sarcastic pout, fluttering her sapphires and only making your erection pulse harder. You began to close your legs when a sensation of cushioned braces float from under the lounge's edge and clamp onto your ankles.
Oh, but you won't stop, will you, darling? Not until each bit of myself molds perfectly to you.
Rarity paused her pseudo-innocent questioning to kiss a bead of pre dripping halfway down your member.
Not even if I cried or begged. No. You want to consummate this night. This love.
She glanced down, making sure your clothing is out of the way, as just your torso remained dressed. The spreader bar was somehow perfectly adjusted to match the space Rarity needed to step between your legs. The fashionista tested the area and found it suitable for the width of her flank. You began to feel uncomfortable, your tie and collar feeling far too tight for the crimson blood pounding through. Deep, calming breaths became harder to actualize as you became more bound. Freedom of sight under the cushions would have allowed you to see that your spreader bar matched the cuffs at your wrist. Constrained. Too constrained.
Oh dear. So commanding. You want me in position?
Rarity's tail flicked to the left as she stood, matching your ideal posture.
Well then, I'm certainly obligated to comply.
Careful attempts to mount any objection evaporated the moment you saw Rarity's winking button nestled deep within her onyx lips.
She's sending you kisses, love.
Something in your mind ticked. An itch demanded to be scratched. You attempted to make yourself more comfortable, but found yourself barely able to remain sitting atop the edge of the chaise lounge by your glutes. Your focus fell on Rarity's marehood, squelching impatiently as a thin trail of semi-clear pee squirted to the floor. She backed herself up, nearly touching your aching glands with her nether lips.
Is this what you want, darling? Is this the culmination of your game of teasing me gone on far, far too long?
You needed to shake your head. You needed to break the stare. Anything to deny the situation of sudden submission thrust upon you. But all was lost when Rarity nickered softly while forcing a generous wink to linger, her precious nub on full display.
Well then, my prince, take me.
Lurching forward subconsciously, you were stopped by the manacles at your appendages, as only the tip of your crown touched her lips. You groaned in denial, feeling her warmth tease you.
Don't make me wait. Please, take me.
Your muscles tensed, veins surfacing as you attempted in vain to reach Rarity's garden. You shouldn't have been this needy. This desperation for carnal pleasure was far below you. Something in the tea? Something in the dinner? Or perhaps you were simply more into Rarity taking charge than you would have previously imagined. Regardless of the reason, it was time for the lady to tease you for all those wasted estresses alone.
Be gentle. It's been so long.
She cooed, sliding back and rubbing her labia against you. You yelped, far more sensitive than you ever remembered. A small bead of drool finally escaped and ran down your chin.
Seize your teasing, love. You're going to make me present.
Rarity growled, her winking clit rubbing your furious glands torturously. You clenched your eyes and felt a warm stream squirt down your pulsating manhood. A dizziness set in, and you gulped for air.
Now take me.
The breath left your lungs as Rarity thrust her hips back, sending nearly half your poised length into her steamy, wet marehood.
Oh, darling.
Rarity choked out, shaken from her little fantastical act by her lack of preparedness for your wit.
Not so deep.
She stepped further back, taking more of your manhood with each movement. You snored once, feeling the dedicated massaging only a mare could provide against your shaft.
Love, please. It's too much for our first time.
Rarity's rear hooves took another step back as you watched, captivated by her stretching marehood struggling to accommodate you. Her puckered anus twitched. An unshackled hand would have served you well to tease her ass. You winced as the tightness enveloped you further, not anticipating just how snug the fit would be.
You wouldn't. I couldn't. You're not going to make me take it whole, are you?
Rarity flung her mane, looking back at you with lust and determination that touched the insane.
Darling, please.
She bit her lower lips, edging closer and closer to your waist. You rolled your neck, the slow insertion driving you mad as you attempted unsuccessfully to thrust in your upright position. Finally, the sultry fashionista hilted you within herself, panting feverishly as another line of mare pee poured down your balls. Rarity let out a long, shuddering moan as her vaginal muscles struggled to fully run along your length.
Heavenly.
You felt your heartbeat through your girth, throbbing anxiously for more stimulation. After a moment, you attempted to thrust, imagining the rigid, silken textures of the lady stimulating your manhood to climax. Your chains and restraints held you back, shaking you from the fantasy.
How generous. Thank you for giving me time to adjust.
Rarity purred, wiggling her flanks and sending your eyes spinning. Your fingers clenched. It would be rough. For several agonizing moments, Rarity held you still inside her. Despite being buried to the root, your urge to thrust was building rapidly, and Rarity's wavy contractions only exasperated that need. You furrowed your brow, clenching your mouth around the gag, flexing your pelvic floor. You managed to throb your glands against the lady's walls and elicited a gasp.
Calm yourself, my dear. You must treat me gently if I am to be your porcelain pony.
Rarity giggled once more, finally sliding herself up and down your turgid shaft via gentle rocking motions. Every nuance of her marehood wrapped your glance possessively, and you groaned in thanks even for the stifled motions that simulated the thrusting you sought. You closed your eyes and relished the sensations that tamed your length. However, before you could feel any beginnings of an orgasm nearing.
Oh, darling, I'm...
Rarity couldn't finish her sentence before a thick, soupy yellow poured from her ebon nether lips. She squealed with delight, riding out her pleasure with slow, calculated bouncing along your cock. You simply stared, once again captivated by the carnal comforts of mares, as her tunnel eagerly took you again and again. Yet, much to your chagrin, Rarity's backwards humping halted soon after her orgasm was complete. A soft moan of longing left your lips, drawing the lady's attention.
Oh, my studly man. Still not finished indulging. What hidden secrets humans have. It looks like I can hardly keep pace with such a ravenous appetite. Do give me a moment of reprieve before we resume our lovemaking.
Rarity managed with what composure she could muster. Slowly sheathing your sword fully once more, you groaned louder, trying everything to wiggle your hips in a thrust as her massaging walls kept you painfully hard. After what felt like several minutes, she resumed her sensual rocking, building the pressure in your loins. However, just as before, the moment you felt your balls begin to tense, the mare reached climax and stopped her movements, denying you further stimulation. You flexed yourself over and over again, practically molding Rarity to the shape of your length in any attempt to rub your snugly trapped girth to completion. She was insatiable. Each time she built up her rocking motion, only to chide you about how rough you were handling her with such a powerful manhood before pausing for breaks in the occasional mini maregasms. Tears welled up in your eyes, your hardness became increasingly painful and desperate for release. With a feral mind, you raged against your bindings, finding the magical fastenings impossible to break. Your vision clouded over with lust, increasingly hungry for the mare who teased you at the precipice. If only you could thrust.
You're so hungry to finalize our love. I can see it in your face.
Despite her insistent libido, Rarity was beginning to tire herself out after her umpteenth orgasm racked her barrel.
Do you give yourself to me?
You wildly nodded.
Do you promise? Promise that I am the only mare who shall claim your seed?
Again, you agreed anything to alleviate the aching pressure. The musky smell of sweat hung heavily in the air, intermingling with those of Rarity's own fluids pooling at your feet. She smiled, a new warmness filling her face, knowing she had finally claimed her teasingly elusive prince.
Then let's see how much milk you can muster, my love. Fill me. Ah, 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 ah.
A quick burst of magic sent your hands and ankles free. It took you only a moment to seize the mare's shapely hips, intent on thrusting yourself mad. Rarity increased her internal massaging, rubbing your sore glands and whining loudly, imploring you to act. Like a man possessed, you rutted the mare, willing to obey any directive she issued in your aroused delirium. It wasn't long before you finally reached your peak. A larger strand of saliva ran down your tired mouth, landing along Rarity's back. Her coiffed tail flipped wildly about her flanks. With a trio of deep, passionate shoves that nearly knocked the lady over, you pressed yourself against her innermost place, and came. The first shot was fierce, buckling your knees and sending you reeling. The second spurt, just as powerful, fired off at the same moment of Rarity's own climax. With a low moan, her sore vocal cords quickly escalated the experience to a scream. She lifted her head to the ceiling and wailed in supreme satisfaction. A gush of maregasm splashed to the ground, meeting salty streams of tears running freely down your cheeks from the intensity of the moment. It was all you could do but hold onto her hips and spurt, intent on releasing every last drop of tension Rarity so expertly coaxed from your balls. Falling back, you exited her greedy nether to a lewd, wet slick that sounded throughout the space. Your orgasm slowed to a dribble as the last bits that still had any distance landed on the fashionista's puckering asshole. Sprawled atop the chase lounge, the manacles scattered against the ground as relief and elation washed over you. Rarity shakily fixed her posture, having nearly fallen to her forehooves from the strength of her maregasm.
Oh, Celestia. Oh, son.
She trotted over, wobbling with each step as a goofy smile of warmth and victory sprawled across her features. Tossing her messy mane once more, she flopped unceremoniously onto your chest. You winced, still half erect, as her fur rubbed against your reddish glands. Her hoof traced against your waistcoat, certainly wrecked with the aromas of sweat and sex. It looked as if she wanted to say something, but was content with laying sweetly atop her prize. Rarity clenched her marehood, attempting to halt the consistent dripping of your hard-won seed. Suddenly, you wrapped your arms around her, hugging her barrel close to your chest. You felt her heart beating closely against yours. Startled, Rarity quickly nuzzled your neck once more, peppering your neck with a few well-placed pecks of her lips.
You read my mind, darling.
She sighed blissfully, adjusting her weight to rest comfortably along her new favorite lounge pillow. With a weak tidbit of magical energy, Rarity removed your ball gag and allowed your jaw a moment to finally close and stretch. You weren't allowed to rest for long. Her mouth quickly found your own as she pushed her weight harder against you. You didn't resist as her equine tongue explored you, swirling long and deep. She broke the oral embrace, looking down at you as if a filly gifted with a new ribbon.
I love you, darling.
You didn't need to think twice to respond. I love you too, Rarity. Your words sent the mare into a playful tittering.
I'll hold you to your promises then.
As a rear leg nudged your manhood.
We should make love more often, now that things are official. I have many more complex positions in mind ideal for such a well-endowed prince. Don't you think that'll be fun, love?
A devilish glint shone in her eyes as your manhood twitched at the thought. This mare, and her fetishes. Your downtime would now certainly be anything but boring within the walls of Carousel Boutique. Woo! Oh shit. Oh shit. I think I knocked something over. Shit. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. All of this wouldn't have been possible without the incredible help of in my opinion, a very underrated reader, Musical Story. Link for his channel is in the description below, as well as on the screen as an annotation. He does really good, really high quality Clop readings, just readings overall, and I totally recommend you check him out if you like if you really like what you hear in this video, I suggest you check him out. He doesn't upload frequently, but that's because he's busy and such, I assume. He's really, really good, and I totally recommend him. In fact, before I go, why hear from me? You can hear it straight from him.
Hey guys, this is Musical Story who helped out with this story. Come on over to my channel and check out my content through the annotation or the link in the description below. I hope to see you over there.
Anyway, I really hope you enjoy the story. It's another femdom bondage thing. I really hope you enjoy it. That seems to be the prevailing fetish of the listeners on my channel, or at least the vocal ones. That seems to be the dominant fetish. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy. It's something. It's not different. It's something I've done before, but I think this is a whole new low for me. You know, I've never had to sustain so many gag thing voice bits. I've never had to do that for such a extended period of time, and it's really quite embarrassing, really. I mean, you know, it's rather lewd, very lewd of it. But yeah, if you would like to read, or if you would like me to read more stories like this, then go ahead and tell me. I'll look over stories with other fetishes that have been suggested, as well as the countless suggestions people have sent to me. I'll look it all over, and yeah, I'll see you in the next reading. Anyway, till next time, bye bye.